This is our glorious countryside.
Wow, that is spectacular. Look at that.
Packed full of hidden gems just waiting to be explored.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a view.
And at this time of year, the nation's landscape takes on a very special look. Wrap up warm, get outdoors, and enjoy the magic of Britain at Christmas.
Wow! Look how big it is!
It wouldn't be Christmas without a touch of glitter. I'm in Yorkshire at Castle Howard to do some maintenance work on one of the locations for ITV series Victoria.
Can I keep this gold?
As long as it's only that big.
And Christmas is coming to the Dales for shepherdess Amanda Owen, her flock of sheep and her 9 children.
I'm gonna ask him for a fishing rod and a money box.
Nowhere is the passing of the seasons more apparent than in our woodlands. As winter arrives, I'm in Cheshire in the heart of Delamere Forest. I'm one of 250,000 annual visitors who enjoy the serenity of these woods, and at this time of year, they take on a magic all of their own. Delamere is of international importance because of its wetland and mossland habitats, and it's home to a whole host of woodland creatures. But in December, it's also where thousands of people flock to buy their Christmas trees. The evergreen tree was an ancient symbol of life in the midst of winter. Here in Britain, we've been putting them up to celebrate Christmas since the 1840s. And we buy 8 million of them every year. And 80% of them are grown right here in the UK. Richard Topley is a forest keeper here at Delamere. He's in charge of 7 hectares of Christmas trees. Richard, how old is Delamere Forest?
There's evidence of trees being here since the 1600s. It was an old hunting forest. The Forestry Commission have only been here for the last 60 or 70 years.
Could you hazard a guess as to how many trees there might be in total?
Well, if you think there's 900 hectares here, it's about 3,000 trees to the hectare, somewhere in the region of 2.5, 3 million trees.
A mix of mature conifers and broadleaves have been combined here over centuries to create a woodland haven.
People come here and they breathe some fresh air, and it's just a nice place to get away from the hustle and bustle, and you go away with a sense of, a sense of well-being, I think, is the best way to describe it.
So we're getting close to Christmas.
We are.
Which is a very important time of the year for one particular crop that I can spot over there.
It is indeed.
Can you lead me to it?
Of course.
Ah, here we are. Unmistakable Christmas trees. What species is this, Richard?
So this is a noble fir.
Right.
This is one of 3 or 4 main types of Christmas tree you'll buy these days.
And does it smell really nice?
It does. It gives you that fragrance in your home. And
See, now I feel really Christmassy.
absolutely.
And this is the first tree to be felled this season, is that right?
It certainly is. We have a local school with special needs children who come in and they do litter picking and they do look after some flower beds and help us with the Christmas trees.
Right.
So we're going to donate this one to them to put up in their halls and their classroom.
Bit of a challenge to get the straw on the top, though.
It will be. I'm glad I'm not doing it.
Which way is it going to fall, then, Richard?
It's going to fall where you are, Liz. I think you're going to need to move. So we just put a little, what we call a wedge shape in there to help it go in the right direction.
You make it look really easy. That's ready to go, Richard. Didn't even have to help you.
We make over 250 million trips to Britain's woodlands every year, many of them over the Christmas break, and it's not hard to see why.
Trees really are, they're for us and they breathe with us and they live with us. And
I
it's very
couldn't
special.
agree with you more. There's something like standing in the middle of a forest. It immediately makes you feel better.
Absolutely.
I don't know how it works, but it works, doesn't it?
It does.
Later, I'll find out how Delamere can serve up some festive treats.
From the dense Cheshire woodlands, we travel into Yorkshire to Castle Howard, 15 miles north of York. The county's home to over 30 grand country estates, each boasting luxury rooms, stunning gardens and thousands of acres of parkland that make for wonderful seasonal roams at this time of year. Castle Howard is one of Britain's most impressive stately homes. A star in its own right, it's appeared in countless TV programmes and films over the years, including most recently in Victoria. It's open to the public, but it's also a family home. I'm going to be finding out a little bit more about its starring roles, as well as getting involved in a restoration project that ensures this building shines for years to come. Castle Howard takes its name from the family who built it, and it took over 100 years to complete. Today, it's one of Britain's best examples of 17th century architecture. Anna Louise is the assistant curator who manages the vast archive detailing every bit of Castle Howard's history, including visits by royalty across the centuries. So the real Queen Victoria dined here, but also the fictional drama about Victoria was partly filmed here.
That's right. We doubled as Kensington Palace, or KP as it came to be known, in the fictional dramatisation Victoria. And in real life, in 1850, we also accommodated the real Victoria and Albert when they visited.
Got a fascinating, rich history. Wow, it really is like stepping back in time coming in here, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Very much so.
So this featured in the fictional Victoria, is that right?
It did, yes. This room was where the young Victoria slept in a very small bed that was set up next to this enormous bed in which her mother slept. And it was in here that her governess came through to tell her the news that the king was dead.
The messenger's here, with a black armband. Your Majesty.
The next stop on our tour takes in the castle's stunning centrepiece dome. Wow. OK, this has the wow factor.
It certainly does. And you immediately look upwards, don't you?
You do. So this is the Great Hall.
It is, yes. It's the high point of the house, quite literally. Very dramatic.
And was that, I suppose that's the point of it, is it? When people arrive at the house, you want to show off the grandeur, the magnitude of it.
That's right. This would be the grand entrance to the house when important visitors would arrive.
I tell you, I like this. It reminds me of my hall at home.
Yes, me too.
11 generations of the Howard family have lived here. Last year, the task of running the estate fell to Nick Howard. His challenge is to preserve the castle both as a family home and as a national treasure for visitors to enjoy. He's currently overseeing a huge renovation project. Nick, how are you doing?
Very
good
nice
to see you. This is a building I have seen many times over the years, in screen, in print, but this was your home. This is where you grew up.
It was indeed, and I romped around the passages on roller skates and played outside to my heart's content in the summer months.
Obviously, Castle Howard recently appeared in Victoria. Is that quite strange for you to see your family home on the small screen or the big screen?
Well, it's happened quite a few times before, but it's still always slightly surprising when you see someone walking down a familiar corridor, turning a corner, and being in a completely different house in the next shot.
I can see there's a bit of work going on up on the roof.
Yes, indeed. We're regilding the dome. Would you like to come and look?
I'd love to. The dome at Castle Howard is a scaled-down version of the one at St Paul's Cathedral, and the painstaking process of regilding is underway for the first time in over 20 years. This is spectacular up here, isn't it? You really get a sense of the whole estate here. What's actually going on up here today, then?
Well, what's going on up here is we're regilding the whole of the lantern and the pinnacle because it needs to shine out as a kind of beacon. And it lasts for about 25 years when you gild it, which is a great deal longer than paint would last.
And just to be clear, when you say regilding, that's basically covering it in gold.
Covering it in gold. You take very, very, very thin sheets of gold. I could show you how to do this.
Come on, yeah, I would. I'd love to.
It comes in these booklets, incredibly thin. Now, if you can hold that for me, I'll get up here and show you. I rub that on there so that, because the surface has all been prepared, you see. And now take that, and if you could hand me the brush.
Here we go.
It's not bad.
Very
Just
nice.
Finish that off there, you see, like that.
I see a second career for you, Nick.
Well...
If running Castle Howard becomes too much, can I do one?
Do, have a go.
Just so that I can at least say I had a part.
Each of these gold leaves costs around £5 in a re-gilding exercise that will take 3 weeks to complete.
I can now say I'm part of the...
The gilding fraternity.
Part of the gilding fraternity, Nick. Thank you.
Not at all.
Can I keep this gold?
As long as it's only that bit.
I've enjoyed my visit to one of Britain's national treasures, and if you're keen for a dose of opulence this Christmas, there are many stately homes to visit, which you may have seen on screen, like Montacute House in Somerset, which featured in Wolf Hall, Burley House in Lincolnshire, star of the film adaptation of the Da Vinci Code, or head to Chatsworth House in Derbyshire to see the glorious setting of Pride and Prejudice. Check seasonal opening times online. Coming next, we're heading back into the Cheshire Woods, where Liz has got her Christmas Day treat in mind.
That's perfect for mince pies.
It is, yeah.
I'm in Cheshire, in beautiful Delamere, the largest forest in the county. I'm taking a walk to find out how these woods can make our Christmases just that bit more special. James Wood is a keen forager who's going to help me find some great things to eat. We're in search of sweet chestnuts. First brought to Britain by the Romans, it's become a seasonal favourite for roasting on the fire.
Is this your go-to spot every year?
This is my go-to spot for sweet chestnuts,
Oh,
yeah.
look it.
And what you're looking for is the large ones, kind of like this one. There's a bit of a technique to it. So you put one foot on one side, and then one foot on the other. Then you have to do the twist and shake. You should
Oh, perfect.
be able to open them up.
Can I have a go at that?
Give it a go.
Okay. So feet on either side.
Yeah.
Twist. Oh, wow, look at that.
Oh, they're perfect.
I love my job. Okay, this is brilliant. We're definitely going to cook with these.
Yeah.
Excellent. I've learned something new today. Brilliant.
With sweet chestnuts sorted, we come across an ingredient to enhance another Christmas classic.
What's this then?
This one's called common hogweed. So that whole sea head, that's the whole bit you eat. So for one tiny little seed.
Mmm. Wow.
Yeah.
That's super strong.
And what would you think it's like?
It's very spicy, a bit clovey.
I always compare it to cardamom,
Yes.
orange zest.
Cardamom.
Yeah, those two.
That's perfect for mince pies.
It is, yeah. It's perfect kind of Christmas spice, isn't it?
Excellent.
Next, time for some Christmas berries.
When they're unripe, they point up like this. And when they're ripe, they droop down almost like they want you to pick them.
Look at that. Perfect.
Yeah, just like that. So I usually pick it from here and take that whole head there.
Okay.
I always find that the red stem is actually another indicator of when they're ready.
Yeah, and
so
it's
when
a
they're not
beautiful, shimmery wine colour. I mean,
it is, yeah.
Look at that. A work of art.
Elderberries contain more vitamin C than oranges and can be used to fight off colds. But they also make a delicious addition to Christmas fare.
If you wanted to use it through the winter months, you can keep that in the freezer, and then once they're frozen, you can literally shake it and they'll just fall off.
Oh,
and that's a really good way of preserving it as well.
There we go.
Along with today's finds, James has brought along other ingredients for his unique take on a Christmas dinner, including a mushroom that's also found here, chicken of the woods.
So this is that, which you often see on the side of
oak trees.
Oak trees, yeah.
So it grows specifically with oak trees.
Right.
This is a really old version of it. As you can see, it's...
Not going to eat that one.
Yeah, it's not something we're going to be eating. But when this is younger, it's very vibrant orange in colour. Usually grows 2 to 3 metres off the ground.
Spuds in.
So they're parboiled already. But we're going to add some boozy red cabbage. So this has got an elderberry port running through there.
Oh, did you make the elderberry port?
Yeah, yeah.
Can we add some of our own elderberries to...
It'd be a shame not to, wouldn't it?
Fantastic. How do you prepare sweet chestnuts to cook?
So we just grab the ones we collected earlier.
Yeah.
And then on the flat side, you just pop an X into it. As the inside contents get a bit hotter, it'll want to expand. You put an X in all of them, apart from one, and you put them into the fire, and then when that one explodes, it means the rest of them are ready.
It's as simple as that.
As simple
That's
as
how you
that.
prepare chestnuts.
Our roast chestnuts and the rest of our Christmas dinner in this magical setting is ready to eat.
Fantastic. Now that is a meal fit for kings and queens.
Cuts like chicken,
yeah.
looks like chicken throughout.
That is delicious. Oh. You know how to cook, young man. Shall we have a little cheers?
Yeah.
It smells incredible.
It's foraging.
Cheers, indeed.
There's a whole host of ways to enjoy the countryside across the festive break. In Tenby in South Wales, join in the traditional Boxing Day dip in the sea. You can take a guided winter walk amongst the hills and valleys of the Lake District, where you're sure to find snow in December. Or if skiing is your thing, make the most of the winter landscape and head to the Cairngorms in Scotland.
From the flatlands of Cheshire, we're heading north to the hills of the Yorkshire Dales. We're back at the remote farm of Ravenseat near Keld in Swaledale, the home of Yorkshire shepherdess Amanda Owen, husband Clive, and their 9 children. Today, everyone's gearing up for the cold and Christmas to come, including 4-month-old baby Nancy.
Go on, give us a smile. Go on. Go on. Go on, give us a smile. I think her eyes are smiling.
Yeah, well, Nancy's first Christmas. We always have a baby at Christmas, so it's not a new event.
But Nancy's not the only hungry mouth to feed on this cold winter morning. When the weather turns, the cattle come down from the hills to the sanctuary of the farm.
The days that you're thinking to yourself, I really don't want to get up. Usually when you can actually feel the draft coming through the sash windows and you can hear the rain and you look outside and any sheep you can see in the distance, they're all at the back of walls and they're all hurling with the backs up and you think, oh, really? But those are the days that you needed the most. So those are the days that you turn out and you feed stuff.
That's part of it, innit? Being prepared.
Are you a brownie?
Well, no, as a cook.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cute with a little answer? I imagine you looked like one at Cranky's.
These hardy Swaledale sheep with their thick coats can stay out in the fields throughout the winter. But cows can't cope with the harsh conditions, so they'll be fed and watered at the farm before heading back out to pasture in the spring.
can be a really long winter. It depends when the weather turns. You know, it can be anything from October right through until May. But you don't really know. So all you need to do is make sure you've got lots of supplies in, lots of haylage bales and hay and straw. Hay in the barn is like money in the bank. And I suppose it's like your insurance, really, that no matter what the weather does, you can feed your animals.
I hear something saying.
Winter doesn't just mean more work for Amanda and Clive. It keeps everyone busy on the farm, including the kids.
This straw is for them to sleep on tonight. And this is what they do eat.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
With the beds ready, it's time for the children to fetch Princess and Joe, their much-loved ponies.
They ride more in the winter than they do in the summer. So summer's more like the holiday for the horses because they go out to the moon and whenever you want to ride, they're just like tiny little specks in the distance. So in the winter time, when they're in the stables, it's much more feasible to put the saddle on and go for a little ride. Right. Yeah, I'm going to take them some water. Hang on. Take them for a drink.
They've already got ponies, so what's on Santa's list for the Owen clan this year?
I'm going to ask them for a fishing rod and a money box because my money box is getting too full. Oh, the saying is, give a man a fish and feed him for a day. Give a man a fishing rod, feed him for life.
In you go. Morning. There you go. That's another job done.
As darkness falls and the animals are safely tucked up for the night, it's time for this farming family to start getting festive.
Magic moments when two hearts are kin.
It's not unusual for the roads into Ravenseat to be cut off for a month over winter. So Amanda has to be prepared.
We try to be as self-sufficient as we can. Obviously, as on meat, we're never going to run out of that, are we? So that's good. But, you know, tins of stuff, flour, sugar, butter. I mean, you always run out of something, but as long as it's nothing vital, like tea bags, then that's good. Traditional Christmas dinner is massive turkey, like a really massive turkey. It usually means I've got to start cooking it like on Christmas Eve. You've got all that to look forward to, haven't you, Nancy? Huh?
But what else can Nancy expect in the years ahead? What do the rest of the Owen kids think of spending Christmas in the heart of the Dales?
It gets quite snowy.
Sometimes snow does get like meter high and you can't get out the door.
We build igloos and snowmen. These are amazing. Look, watch.
Best thing about winter here, I guess it's the seclusion and being cut off.
Look at that.
If you have everything you need, it's nice to be here with the family and the flock and all the animals. It's good. It's good to have that traditional Christmas.
With 9 children, 1,000 sheep and that tucked-up herd of cattle, it's going to be a busy festive season at Ravenseat. Which leaves just one question to ponder. Will there be another baby in the manger this time next Christmas?